There are so many ways of making pieces. I particularly have about 4 methods I use to go about pieces making depending on my mood. But in this video, I've decided to share this method with you because it is simple, it is easy, and it is quick to follow. So if you like the sound of that, kindly watch this video to the very end and let's get right into it. For this particular method, you'll be needing 3 to 4 yards of fabric depending on how full you want it and the kind of fabric you're using. Okay, so here I folded the fabric with 15 inches on fold. So by the time I open it up, it's going to be 30 inches. And I'll be using the whole length of this Ankara, which is about 45 inches as the length of the skirt. Okay, so I'll start from one end and go down to 9 inches, and that would be the hip line. Then from that point I'll be going down to the knee line, which I'll be using 19 inches for this case. Okay, if you don't know how to go about it, you measure down to your actual knee length and come up 3 inches from that point. Okay, from your waist to your knee, then you come up 3 inches from that point. Now on the waist, I'll be marking 4 inches. Then I'll come to the hip line and mark the same 4 inches. Then on the knee, I'll be marking 3.5. Yeah. So whatever you measured on the waist and on the hip, you're going to minus half inch from that and mark that on the knee line. Okay. So I'm going to connect it this way. Then I'll connect from that knee to the 30 inches. Yeah, 15 inches on fold that we are using as the width of this folded fabric.
Two, in love with you. 3, 4, I'm on the floor. Come pick me up, oh, and tell me you know for sure.
So after that, do well to blend in the knee part so that it's not sharp, and then you're going to simply cut it out the same way you see me doing it here. And after cutting, I'll use this same one that I cut out. This is the center front, right? I'll be using it to show you how to go about cutting the side front or the side pieces. Okay, that's the center that will be going to the center front. Then I will use it to show you how to go about cutting the side. So I'm going to flip it this way in a way that the part that was the down part will now be coming to where we use as the upper part before. Just the same thing you can see me do here. I will arrange it very well just so it lay flat, and you can see that I opened the center front. It's no longer folded. Then I'm going to simply follow the same shape I already have on the center front this way and trim it out. Just trace it out this way, then I'll take it out and fold it this way, then bring it back to this side that we traced out, just like this. You do not have to overlap it. If you want to, you can, but I did not overlap mine. So I'm going to measure down to the hip line of 9 inches. Then I'll go down to the knee line of 19 inches, just like this, right? Then I will now measure the waist measurement divided by 4, just the same way you can see me do it. This is the easiest way to go about it without doing much calculation. So you're going to do your waist measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch for joining allowance, then your desired side allowance, which I used 1.5 for my case. Then I'll come to the hip, make sure that the center front you folded is very close to the one we traced out, right? That's the side that you are cutting now. Okay, so I'm going to do the hip measurement divide by 4 plus 1 inch joining allowance, then 1.5 as the side allowance. Then I'll connect it to the waist measurement this way. I'll come to the knee line, then whatever I have on the hip, whatever I measured out here now, I'll minus 2 inches and mark it on the knee line, and that will be the knee measurement. Make sure you blend it fine, just as you can see me do it now. Then coming to the down part, when we use 30 inches as the width for the center front. Now I'll be minusing just 5 inches from it. You can even do that the same 30 inches, whatever you use as the front, you do it on this side, but I just choose to minus 5 inches from it. Then I'm just going to connect it to the knee measurement just this way. Just go ahead and blend it in. Make sure it's not curvy on that point. It should be straight and not curvy from the knee down. Okay. So after that, I'll just go ahead and trace it out just like this. Then this one now, I'll be using it to cut the remaining three pieces that will make up the four pieces of the for the side. I hope that is clear enough. So since this Ankara does not have pattern that we can follow, I'll just be flipping the pieces. If I cut this one now, I'll flip it in a way that the down part will now be the upper part. I hope you understand it. Just so we save the fabric just a little. Okay, so after placing it on it this way, I'll go ahead and trace it out on the side. Then you can also decide to fold your fabric and place it on it. I don't know if you can see it, but I placed the side, one of the side on it this way. Then I'll simply go ahead and trace it out. If you feel like doing it one will waste your time, you can decide to just fold your fabric so that you cut it out quickly, but it will still give you the same result. Now, after all of this now, we have the four pieces for the side, okay? Both the side front and then the side back. I have four pieces of that. I'll keep it aside now, then fold the fabric again to cut the center back. We are yet to cut the center back, right? And I've gone ahead to fold the fabric and I placed the center front on it. I folded it and placed. Then here I have about 10 inches from up to down. That means I added extra 10 inches to the width I used to cut out the center front. I hope that is clear. Now from this folded part of the one I placed on the fabric, I'll be going down to 9.5. Then on that point, I'll be going out by 1.5. Then on the waist, I'll be marking 1 inch. Okay, so 1 inch on the waist, 1.5 on the hip. Then this part, which is the knee line, I'll be marking just half inch, which is basically the joining allowance. Okay, if you've been on this channel, this is just how I go about my zipper allowance. 1 inch on the waist, 1.5 on the hip, half inch on the knee line, and it blends so well. So I'm going to connect it this way to the 10 inches extension, just like this, just the same way you can see me do it here. And that's it for the center back. So if you want more, 10 inches is not standard. I'm just trying to show you how to go about it in case you want to do it. If you want more, you can add more. If you want less, you can do it less. Now if you want the tail to be like the regular tail, you can decide to add to the down part. Okay, that's the hem. You add to about 10 or more depending on how much you want it to sweep, but you just follow the same process. Just add your desired extension. Then for the length, you can decide to do however you want it to sweep. Then you're going to cut it out to have something like this. Can you see that? So basically we are done cutting the 6 pieces. The back is about 4, but we'll still call it 6 pieces. And at this point, go ahead and cut out your lining in case you want to turn it with lining, but I'll be doing just half lining. In the next pieces tutorial I'll be showing you, that would be a full lining. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and start joining. And what you will do is to go ahead and pin the center back this way. Go ahead and pin it on the yeah, that's the center back where the zipper would be going, to have something like this. Then you're going to take one of the side, the part that is curvier, you will know that that part is just this side. That's where the hip line is. Okay, so you're going to pin this other part that is straight, pin it down just like this, as you can see me do it here. Then you take the other one and place it this way. You're going to pin it down so that it will be easier for you to join it when you get to the sewing machine. Then you're going to join it. I'll do the same thing for this front, and after that, this is what it looks like. Okay, can you see that? And this is also the point where you should iron out your skirt so that it will be smooth. You can decide to iron the seam lines going to one side. You can also decide to press open the seams. And this is what the down part looks like. We'll be trimming it off later, but for now, I would go ahead and cut out the lining. Remember I said that it will be half lining. So here I have about 21 inches. And you remember that the knee line is 19 inches. So this 21 inches now, by the time I turn it on the waistline and turn the hemline, I will have my 19 inches. So I'm simply going to fold it into four because I want to cut for both front and back. I'll fold it into four this way. Can you see that? Then I'll take the front skirt and place it on it this way. Arrange it very well and make sure that the four pieces of the lining that they are aligning so that it's not one of them is not shortened under. Okay, that would be a big mess. Then after arranging it very well, I'll go ahead and simply trace it out, trace the side out this way, and I've successfully cut out the lining for both front and back part of the skirt. Okay, so after cutting it out, I'll go ahead and notch this part, and that would indicate that this is the upper part so that I will not mistaking the waist line as the hemline. Yeah, the knee line. So now I'll take one out, then I'll slit this other one so that one will be going to the back. Yeah, that will be going to the center back. We have two pieces of the back, right? Then I'll also notch to indicate the upper part. Now I'll take the front part to show you how to go about it. When I place the lining on it, you can see that it's excess. The lining is excess, so I will add tiny pleats, and the reason why I do this is that this lining is very fragile and it tears easily. So doing it this way, especially as it is not interfaced, okay, doing it this way will make it a bit stronger so that it will not easily tear even if the skirt is tight. I've been using this method for a long time and it's been working. So after turning it out with the lining, this is what it looks like, and now we'll go ahead and blend in this sharp point, which is not really necessary except if your skirt is jump up. That's the only time anyone would notice. But for my sanity, I will still go ahead and trim it off this way so that it will just blend. Okay. Now the next thing I will do now is to go ahead and do the final measurement. I'll measure the waist, divide it into two, then measure whatever allowance I have left and shade it on both sides. Then measure again to be sure that I have what I should have on the waistline. And here I need to just make sure it's 1.5 on both sides. I'll come to the hip line and do the same thing. The hip measurement divide by 2. I'll mark it. Then I'll measure the remaining allowance and divide it. Yeah, share it on both sides. Then I'm going to connect from the hip to the waist. Then on the knee, I'm going to take the knee measurement, which I'm using 19 inches for this case. Okay, so I'm going to arrange it very well and mark my 19, measure what I have left, divide it, divide it into two, then share it on both sides. Then I'm going to connect it to the hip line. That's the hip measurement I already have there. Okay, so from that point I will just blend it all the way to the down. And now for the back, I'm gonna have to turn it just as I did for the front. Then I'm going to place it on each other, right side facing right side. And as you can see, after turning it, I hem the down part of the lining. Okay, so now I'm going to place it in a way that the center back will be going to the center back this way, right? Then I'm going to mark down to 9.5, which is the zip length, right? I'll connect it half and stitch it all the way down, right? After that, I fix the zipper on the zipper space. Now I'm going to place the front, which I already marked the measurement on it this way. Then I'll go ahead and stitch on the marked allowance. And after that, I'll simply go ahead and hem this part. You can see what it looks like after stitching it, okay? I'll simply go ahead and hem the down part of the skirt this way. Then after that, I'll give it the final ironing and the skirt is ready. Now, have you tried this method? In case you haven't, will you be trying this method? Let me know in the comments. And this will be the end of our tutorial today. You let me know your thoughts in the comment section and I'll see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.